talking. This music sounds like Eddie Van Halen. Sounds like Van Halen. David Rod. I can't. Yeah, it looks big. All right, so it's Oscar night.
Oscar night, MJ.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
What if that means you get slapped tonight?
I don't know. I kind of go in and out when I watch the Oscars, you know, because there's a huge portion of it where I'm like,
Yes.
you know, it's stuff that I've never even heard of.
Yeah, it's just fucking boring.
Yeah. I like to watch the big awards, though.
Right.
Like we just saw Jamie Lee Curtis won finally.
Best actress. Best supporting actress.
Yeah.
I don't even know what movie.
She's in that movie. I didn't know until it said that she's in the Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
and
that's what
that's
she
something
won
about
for.
that multi-dimensional movie. Or,
Yeah.
Or
I want to see
sci-fi.
it.
Yeah.
Just to see what all the hype is.
Yeah, I want to see. Well, I've seen The Whale with Brendan Fraser, and that one was really good.
And I have not seen that yet.
And I don't know if that one's actually up for anything or not.
It is.
Is it for best picture?
I think so. I think it's nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, I would give him the best actor for that one.
Over Elvis.
Over Elvis.
Over the kid that
Yeah,
played
Austin
Elvis.
Butler and Elvis.
Mm.
But Austin Butler was good.
I know, he's so cute. They were showing him in the beginning. Like they kept, because he was doing Elvis jokes.
Oh, but you notice he didn't lose the Elvis voice. He still does the Elvis voice.
Oh, he didn't talk. It was Jimmy Kimmel was doing jokes and they just would show him in the audience. I'm like, oh, he's so cute. Yeah.
He's a really good looking guy. Yeah, so, God, did you watch the Chris Rock special? It was live last Saturday.
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
my God. Yeah, I watched it. Well, I was semi-live. I was probably like 10 or 15 minutes behind.
Here's my thing. What is it with now? People are like massively critiquing every comedy show that comes out. Like, have you noticed that? Like, there were people talking shit about it. I'm like,
right, and they were.
Can't you just watch a fucking comedy special?
They were calling Chris Rock a bitter old man.
I know. I'm like,
You know?
what? Why are we overly critiquing comedians lately?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I mean, I thought the jokes were kind of funny. Like Will Smith slapped him so hard that he's still hearing "Summertime." You know, not bad.
And then the joke where he's like, if anyone thinks that, what was it, words hurt, has never been punched in the face. I think he said punched in the face, but wasn't he? He was slapped, right?
Right. And, you know, he did go kind of brutal on Jada at the end, you know, but you could tell he was getting out that pent-up frustration.
Who cares? He has every right to. He got
assaulted.
He wasn't he making fun of like their lifestyle?
Yeah, well,
Like,
he was making fun of the fact that she was going to boycott the Oscars years ago because Will Smith didn't get nominated for concussion.
Right, I know.
And so she was mad at Chris Rock for not going along with the boycott or something like that.
Well, you know what? Maybe Chris Rock saw the documentary. The same thing Jerry Rice said. Jerry Rice said, why would I need to go see the movie Concussion when I've already seen the real documentary about the real doctor, which was fantastic. I mean, it is a fantastic documentary about the CTE.
Right. And so, you know, just if people haven't been following along, at last year's Oscars, Will Smith got up and slapped Chris Rock because he made a G.I. Jane joke.
Right, about Jada's haircut.
Yeah. Okay, so because she's bald.
Because she has
Alopecia.
Yeah, one of my cousin's old boyfriends had it.
But
I know somebody who's had it.
But Chris Rock also kind of went after her for, you know, well, you won't be outraged about that. Like, he went after Will Smith why aren't you outraged about how your wife went after you? And asked you how you felt about her cheating on you.
Well, I thought too the reason why he was getting more and more pissed throughout the night was because Amy Schumer and the other comedian were making the jokes about their lifestyle or whatnot earlier in the program, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he probably had all that. Still not a reason. You have no business to get up and fucking slap someone. Right. Take a joke, bitch.
And even our like-minded friends on a lot of issues, because I posted when he slammed his mic down at the end, and I was like, oh, that was a great mic drop, to end it like he did on that. I was like, yeah, that was great. And she goes, and one of our like-minded friends goes, nothing he has ever said has been funny, and I'm like. Nothing Chris Rock has ever done been funny.
You know what though? I don't care. Like I don't care if people are like, you know what?
You have your taste.
You can view the stuff. Yeah. So I'm like, what I would say to them though, I would be like, then why do you continue to keep watching his specials? If you're saying none of them have ever been funny, you would think that you would have given up on him years ago.
But the real motivation behind somebody saying
unless she's hate watching,
But the motivation behind saying something like that is, it's more like they were condemning Chris Rock for treating a black woman that way.
Right.
But there was nothing. I mean, the G.I. Jane joke was mild compared to how he went after him at the end of this special.
Right.
But, I might kind of go, ooh, that's a bit harsh. But I'm like, yeah. He has been, he has kept his mouth shut and been holding this in for a year. And I get it is humiliating as a man to get slapped on national TV.
Right.
And not fight back.
And to our like-minded friends, to each their own, we don't have to agree with them 100% on everything.
Yeah. But there were some damn good jokes in that special.
Like I said, I don't know why this person is let me think of like a okay, the redneck comedians or whatnot. The only one that I find funny is Ron White. He's the only one I've ever thought was funny out of those four. I've tried to watch the other three's specials before, and since I didn't like them, I don't continue to watch the specials. I kind of am like, I don't need to see that.
You didn't like the Jeff Fox where you might be a redneck?
No, I just thought it was like, I get it. There's like jokes, but I didn't think they were like hilarious.
Larry the Cable Guy, I always thought was hacky.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
And the Who's Your Sign guy isn't bad. Here's Your Sign.
I know. Is that Bill Engvall?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's okay too.
Yeah.
But it's not.
He's probably the one that is the next reasonable one after Ron White, in my opinion.
Ron White's great.
He's funny.
So, I don't know. I mean, I guess, taking a slap to the face is a lot better than some words. And they're jokes. Okay, these are comedians. This isn't a politician or anything like that, getting up there. But if Donald Trump had said the same exact thing, some people have been like all aboard with it,
Right.
Making fun of people and shit.
Yeah. True. I mean, that's the thing though. People have the right to say whatever you want to say. Like, that's where I keep getting irritated with all the morons about the cancel culture. It's like,
right.
No, you have the right to say whatever you want to say. Now, if your work finds out about it and they don't agree with it, they're allowed to run their company the way they want. And if they don't want you to be a part of it anymore, that is your problem.
Right. Freedom of speech isn't freedom from consequences.
Right. It's like, yes, you can say whatever you want to say. You can say everything you want to say. But you're also going to need to, like you said, deal with the consequences of you needing to say that.
Well, and Joe Rogan just opened up a comedy club in Austin, Texas, and He said, well, this is where I'm going to invite all the comics here so they don't get canceled. And I'm kind of getting sick of the cancel. Just the word cancel because you're not actually canceled.
I'm getting canceled.
You're not actually getting canceled. Canceled means like what's that name of show? Grey's Anatomy, for the first one that comes to my head. Okay, Grey's Anatomy gets canceled. That means it's no longer on the air.
Right.
Now, comedians say something. They're not necessarily canceled. Get some outrage about that, but you're not officially canceled. You're not taken off the airways.
If we have to hear from you again, you definitely didn't get fucking canceled.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, like the Chris Rock special or the Dave Chappelle specials weren't canceled. They're still there on Netflix.
Right.
You can still find them.
It's like I know, what are they talking about? Fucking cancel culture.
And if cancel culture comes out for you, isn't that actually a good thing? Because if I hear something was quote unquote canceled, that kind of makes me go, I sort of want to watch that now.
Right. And I think this is just another thing where some folks, again, don't understand what something means. They don't understand what cancel culture actually is. A lot of people will not admit that the first canceled person was basically Colin Kaepernick. Now, he did get canceled. You see him playing in the NFL? Do you see him on any team? What team does he play for? Please tell me. Enlighten me.
Yeah, that definitely.
He got canceled.
Yeah, that your career is over with.
Right.
Over because of something that you said.
Something.
Or an action that,
or
you take a stance. Right.
Yeah.
But some people are okay with that form of cancel culture. Cancel culture is also books.
I know all the book bannings. Yeah. Hi. Our guest is here.
Our guest is here. All right. So we're going to reset here for just 1 minute.
Okay.
We'll be right back. All right. So Tricky just walked in.
Hey, Tricky.
Hey.
It's Tricky to rock around.
It's been a second.
Every time we say your name, that's what it reminds me of. Run DMC song.
Right. I haven't seen y'all since Pride.
Right.
I know. Your hair is cool.
Thank you. My hair is cool. My nails cool.
Yeah, your nails are cool too.
As soon as I get this last little chunk of shit nailed down and I can be sure I'm not going to sob them off, my eyelashes will be cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, so cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, so we always started. We were. You missed our Oscar award ramble. And then we were talking about Chris Rock.
Y'all, I've been so unplugged from the real shit that's been happening for so long. I feel ignorant. I didn't watch the Oscars. I haven't watched the Chris Rock special.
It's going on. Oh, you have to watch the Chris Rock special.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't watch the one before where he went off on the trans. I haven't watched stuff for a minute.
That's Chappelle.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, I missed.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris Rock. I mixed y'all up.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so we went away to Kansas City a few weeks ago to see Springsteen.
How was that?
The show was awesome.
Fun.
Kansas City is kind of a fucked up city.
Is it?
Their freeway system is the most idiotic thing I've ever seen in my life. It's they're just.
Right,
I don't know how many freeways are actually there. I was joking with the lady that I sat next to on the plane. I asked her that. I go, how many freeways do you have that runs through there? And she goes, it's a mess, huh? She goes, it's always been.
Yeah, and you go to get off, it says exit to the right. And then as soon as you do, it goes, take an immediate left, and you have to cross over 3 lanes.
It's like you exit on the left and the right.
Okay, Minnesota was the same way.
It's fucking crazy.
Minnesota was the same way. Entrances and exits on the same side, and I'm like, what is happening?
I know, we're used to just having them on the right, man.
Right.
Arizona's got so much open space. We can take all that we need, except in Phoenix.
Yeah, well, and that leads to where I was going, because Snow being from Arizona here, we got into the rental car, and in the back seat there was a snow brush, and
I'm like,
she
somebody leave something in here?
she literally asked her mom what a snow brush is,
because Mom, what is that? somebody forgot something in the car. And she started laughing. Like, my mom's like, oh my God, my dog. I'm like, well, I'm a desert rat. How would I even know what the fuck that is?
Yeah.
Well, it came in handy last Wednesday, though.
A snow brush is what she has, in her bathroom, to fix her hair.
Yeah.
So that's funny. I've given, I don't know how many away because I moved back from Minnesota with a real good one. And I gave that away because my sister was moving to Reno. And then, it snowed for the one time in Kingman, so I got one. And then I'm like, I never use this, so I gave it away to somebody else.
Right. That's what...
Last week I was out there with a spatula,
I know. Yeah.
That's what reminded me of it, because we got snow here last week.
It was insane.
Yeah.
Like a blizzard.
Blizzard
style.
I should have seen the ranch.
And Snow and I shouldn't do weather reports, because that morning we're going... Because everybody, they called off school. And we're like, going, oh, look at all these people here. They'd be tripping here,
Well, they actually were tripping on that day. They canceled school when it didn't snow. And then it snowed. I think they canceled the day before, right? And then it snowed.
But that day we were making fun of it.
Right.
That morning, we're like, we're not going to get anything.
In the afternoon? What?
Yeah, it was about 12:30 or so.
Okay, yeah, because I was out in the sticks, so I don't know what time it actually started snowing in Kingman.
Yeah, and then I go outside and I see snow's coming down pretty hard, and I texted Snow, and I was just like, hey, how far out are you?
Snow is not the biggest fan of snow, by the way. The name is Snow because it's short for snowflake, remember? Doing the joke. How they call us, try to label us snowflakes. I'm like, who's a real snowflake?
But the roads got bad quick. And
yes.
They called you in.
Immediately they got bad. Yeah.
They're bad, but it's because we have 2 snowplows across the whole state.
Right. And
they get really after doing 8 years
to close the freeways down.
After living 8 years in Minneapolis, it's I'm not afraid to drive in the weather. I'm not I'm good. I've got experience. I can do this.
Live there.
I'm afraid of y'all who don't know how to drive in the weather. Right. I didn't even try to move. I don't think I moved from the time it started snowing. We had that one big, little snow thing that dumped, and we got a lot more out at the ranch. And then we had that next one that really dumped. I didn't move for 3 or 4 days after that one because my car was buried.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, and we got more snow here in Kingman than New York City did all winter long.
All winter long?
All winter long, yeah.
What? This planet
is
not feeling great,
crazy. Shaking us off.
I know.
Well, now
ticks or something.
well, now it's going to be St. Patrick's Day, next week.
Yay!
Well, Boston's getting a massive snowstorm Tuesday.
Oh, what's going to happen for the Dropkick Murphy show?
They'll still play.
I
went. I think it snowed on the St. Patrick's Day concert I went to see him. There was definitely snow on the ground.
Yeah, it was a little chilly at night, but that's to be expected way up in Mass.
Oh, and speaking of Springsteen, you know how Jake Clemens was out with COVID when we saw him?
Yeah.
Bruce has had to cancel 3 shows because of illness.
He got COVID?
He hasn't come out and said that it's COVID, but he's had to postpone 3 shows.
Thank God we were able to see him when we did. And our show didn't get canceled. That was sucked.
I know. And
I feel bad for the people who got the canceled shows. Gosh.
And I almost was going to go back to Boston this week to go see the Dropkick Murphys. And because they're playing one night, Springsteen's playing a couple nights later. Mm-hmm. And I was going to go back for that. But no, I can't go. I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm just over winter.
Bring on spring.
I guess it's good for California needs snowpack, and help the water levels in certain parts of California have gotten out of their drought status.
And so do we. Yeah. Every place along.
Yeah.
Hopefully it massively snowed in Colorado, wherever it melts from.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that where it's fed from?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's massively snowy up there. I hope.
I went to Flagstaff last week, and in the parking lots, the snowbanks are 12 feet high. I'm like, wow, I haven't seen this since I was in Vermont.
That's like
So I guess
Minnesota.
Snowball's open, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we didn't do a podcast last week because last Saturday I woke up and I was feeling fine. Normal Saturday, take the dog out for a walk and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, cool. All right. Get motivated this weekend, go out and do something. And I felt like, felt like almost like an upset stomach at first. I'm like, all right, I'm going to lie down. And then it got to be like, oh, that's not like a upset stomach. I'm like, now I'm in serious pain. So I'm like trying to get up and walk it off for like a half hour. And it got to the point where I was just like doubled over in pain.
Could you have had like an ulcer? Did they check for that?
No, don't do that.
Because
They don't.
ulcers
They
are
don't.
very painful.
They didn't do that. And I think that might be part of the issue.
They're
Refer
caused
you
by
to
stress and whatnot.
gastronomy or gastrology.
No. This is that I asked my roommate because I didn't even know if I could drive at that point. So I was like, "Hey, could you give me a ride over to urgent care?" And he goes, "By the way you look, you should go to the ER." And you know how the roads are in here in Kingman because they repealed the half cent
God,
increase in
I know.
taxes.
There's,
So there are potholes
massive
everywhere.
Potholes.
So we hit
Deep
a
ones.
we hit a pothole, and I am just like, because I've never been in that much pain.
I'm telling you, ulcers will tear the shit out of your stomach.
So we go to the ER, and luckily there was nobody in there at the time, and I'm sitting in the waiting room, and they're like, "Can you sit down?" I'm like, "I can't even sit down." I was like, I couldn't sit down. I had to stand up. I was in that much pain. I was just like leaning against a post,
Maybe it wasn't an ulcer then.
And the one thing I'll say about that waiting room is that they had just redone the ER in this town not too long ago. Mm-hmm. Why are the walls all dirty and scuffed up?
It is disgusting. And so is urgent care. It looks dirty. It is gross. I'm like, no wonder so many people here get infections, like when they have to go in and get surgeries and whatnot. Like, I understand why. I hate having to go to the hospital. I mean, I will only go if, like you said, if I was in that much pain
Right.
and you're desperate.
And you know me.
have to.
You know me. I barely go to the doctor. So there had to be something really wrong. I thought it was like dying or something like that.
Yeah.
And so after I get out of the filthy ER room or, emergency waiting room, they bring me back and they're taking my vital signs. And my blood pressure was actually good, which I was kind of surprised because I always have like high blood. It always runs high, but it was good. I was like, all right, cool. But they're like, do you want to go back? And, we're going to bring you back out to the, waiting room. And I was just like, do you have just somewhere I can lay down? Because I can't sit. I was like, I think I could lay down. And they found an open room, and I go back there, and they put the IV in, but they didn't do anything. But I don't like getting shots. I mean, I can't sit there and watch them do it. I just turn my head.
Oh, yeah. I'll pass out.
I love it.
I
love needles, dude.
I just turn my head to the side.
Mine isn't the needles, it's the blood.
Well,
I don't mind that.
And they do that little saline thing, so you feel something going in your arm, and I thought they'd give me something for the pain.
You feel it and you taste it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
they can do the
they flush it every time.
Yeah.
It's so they can do one of the tests, right?
Yeah. So I just sit back, and I was there for a while. It was an hour and then 15 minutes. The pain went away. And another nurse comes in and goes, do you want something for the pain? I'm like, you didn't give me something? No. I'm like, well, that's weird because the pain's gone now. And I have, fucking brain fucking die. Hernia. I have a hernia, but in that area was rock hard because when I said, I couldn't sit down, I showed the nurse, I'm like, what do you feel about this? And she felt it. She goes, oh, well, yeah, we better have you see somebody as soon as possible. But it was still an hour and a half. So they come in and give me the pain meds. But the pain had subsided at that point. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't like taking pain medication if I'm not in pain. I'm like, right. I think I'm okay. And I'm like, okay. And
Did they look like, are you from a different planet? Because you deny
Yes.
pain medication?
yeah, well,
Because they treat me every time I go in there like I'm trying to get high. I
Right.
mean, I probably did part of that to myself with putting ink all over my body, including my hands and my neck. But I'm an old lady now, and I promise you I've got enough drugs at the ranch to put a couple small horses down. I'm not here for drugs.
Right?
right, and
But
that's
there are a lot of people. I was one time in there, and the woman in the bed over, like they have the curtains, but she got pain pills, and then she's like complaining, it's not going away yet. And the lady's like, you're gonna have to wait like a half hour. It's not gonna kick in right away. And she kept trying to get more and more and more. She's like, I still don't feel it. I still don't feel it. And I'm like, that bitch probably has like a 60 pill tolerance or something. You know, like when you see the intervention show.
yeah. Well, and that's the way I felt. I felt like they were treating me like I was just there.
Drug seeking.
For
Yeah.
drugs,
Yeah.
yeah. Because they deal with that a lot, though, in all fairness. I mean, the area.
And it sucks. But okay, here's the thing. You did not take a pharmaceutical oath. You took a Hippocratic oath. You know,
Right.
like you are supposed to be helping the patients. If you're going to make an error, they're in the ER. Make it not the error of the patient. You
Right.
know, fuck pharma.
Right.
Right.
And when
You know?
and when
You're
I
not sending them out with pills. Give them a shot of
And-
medicine.
and they,
Right.
they had switched shifts like in the middle. So the first doctor I saw and then this first nurse I saw wasn't the nurse that came back and offered the pain medication. Now the first nurse, I was like, here, feel that that should be rock hard right there. And she was like, yeah, we better get you into a room. I'm like, why didn't you give me the pain medication there? Because you could tell I was in that much discomfort, but they made me wait for an hour and 15, hour and a half.
Yeah, I don't know. And part of that being suspicious of, because knowing that they profile everybody. You know, everybody.
I've been there before. They made me take a piss test.
Yes.
When I went in I'm not kidding.
They profile
my ulcer acted up, and so I'm like, I am in an extreme amount of pain, and it was in the middle of the night. They're like, you're gonna have to give a urine sample first, because people, I guess, go in the middle of the night to get. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, do you think I'm here to?
And I
get
think that's
drugs?
part of the whole thing is stalling people, even when there's nobody sitting there. They're back there chopping it up, talking about Grey's Anatomy last week or whatever, because a drug seeker, somebody who's truly got the itch, is probably not going to sit in a white waiting room
They're not gonna
for
wait
an hour and a half
Yeah.
and not be talked to about their pain, quote unquote, or whatever. You know, they're going to get flustered, frustrated, and bounce and go find something on the street somewhere.
Right.
You know, but it messes me up every time because, like you, I don't, because of doctors, and they've messed me up so many times, like mistakes and this and that and the other. I don't like to go to doctors, so
No.
I
I don't
try to
either.
manage all my
Especially
shit at home.
around here.
I
They're
try.
like, dude,
But here's the other
the
thing.
quality is terrible.
Here's the other thing that we got going on, folks, is the DEA and pharmacies and doctors are not working together. Like, I will have my doctors will prescribe me medicines, and the pharmacy will not dispense it because it supposedly is a problem with other medication. You know, and I'm like, okay, but you see me maybe once a month if I need to talk to you. Otherwise, the clerk's giving me my medicine. My doctor and I are in close communication. If my doctor prescribes me medication, you should fucking give it to me.
It's your job to fill it, right?
They can deny.
Oh, really?
They can dispense.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had somebody
Well,
tell me.
yeah, but in their defense, though, if they realize that two drugs don't mix,
Right, and it'll.
And that's the whole thing. Like, sure, like,
But the doctor should have known that.
and they do. And they know why you're taking it and how often you're taking it, way more than this pharmacist does, because you're talking to them face to face in a room by yourself. Like, for example, they didn't want to give me sleeping medication because I'm on pain management, right? And if you take sleeping pills with pain pills and especially benzos, you might not wake up in the morning.
Or
right?
you'll wake up in the middle of the night and eat a tub of butter.
Right.
Right.
But and I was trying to
Ambien.
explain, and I was trying to explain to the pharmacist, like, okay, yes, I am on pain medication every day, all day. I get that, but I don't take the Ambien every night.
Right.
I only take the Ambien on
If
like
you
night
can't
3.
sleep,
I haven't had
yeah.
enough rest, and I really need some sleep tonight.
I'd be
You know?
too afraid
Yeah.
of taking Ambien, so I've heard about it.
I've never taken it either.
I took Ambien years ago, and then they moved me down to like something a lot more subtle, like trazodone. But then I took trazodone for like 5 years, and then trazodone just became like something else my body thought it needed, and it wasn't helping with sleep anymore.
Yeah, but doesn't Ambien sometimes just not work, and then you go out and do stupid shit?
Some people will do dumb
Yeah.
shit on Ambien. Like, will sleep drive or sleep eat or sleep cook or sleep shop. Like, my mom's famous for sleep shopping and ordering, like, 3 $200 chairs. The same exact chair. So, I mean, yeah, it is one of them things. But I just feel like too many cooks in the pot as far as medical and medication go right now. I mean, Trust me, I would way rather do my medication naturally. Right? That's why I don't take psychoactive drugs anymore. Like as far as like psych meds for my treatment-resistant depression or treatment-resistant anxiety or my PTSD, because they won't prescribe what really works for when the situation becomes completely unmanageable. Like once I hit a panic attack, Trisha can't manage that herself. I can't take myself down from a full blown panic attack. That's when I'm sweating, shaking, crying probably, maybe cussing somebody out, trying to crawl under a desk. Like that's the point where I need a medication like a benzo. Well, nobody will prescribe it to me. And the hospital treats me like I'm drug seeking when I go in there in a full-blown panic attack. So basically I like put my fingers under my chin and it's like, you're not going to give me the help when I really fucking need it, and I can't use all these tools that a lifetime of psych therapy, talk therapy have given me.
Yeah.
I don't need your stasis, anxiety medication. I don't need your depression medication.
And that's the whole system is fucked up, especially in an area like we're in, and it's not fucking a red or blue thing. It's just the facts. We're in a low income area. You cannot hire the best medical help if you are.
There is a lot of drug use.
Yeah, and there is a lot of drug use.
Is we get these doctors right out of school that have all these grants, right? And our government will help pay off your education if you work in an underserved, underrepresented area, an indigent area. So we get all these awesome doctors that come straight over out of Mayo and all this just out of school, and they stay for 2 years and then they leave.
Right, because you get a better paying job elsewhere.
Hell yeah, and that's why I was trying to go to school to do what I was in psych in the mental health area, because my special living situation, I wouldn't have to think why would I stay here in Kingman and take 80, 90,000 with a doctorate when I could go 3 hours south and get 200,000
Right.
for my doctorate.
Right.
So that we get these cool doctors that really want to do stuff and are really hot and hungry and young and thirsty for medicine or mental health for 2 years. And then take people like me who have abandonment issues, so I get all comfy and a doc's really helping me and I feel good, and they bounce and I have to start
well, you know
over.
what happened to me was after something happened a couple years ago, and I was kind of like, well, I think I need to see somebody. I think I need to talk to somebody finally, because I have nothing against mental health. Yes, if you're feeling down, seek out professional help. Feeling suicidal, seek out professional help. If you know you're fucked up, seek professional help. There's nothing wrong with it. Matter of fact, acknowledging that you have a problem is a great step. So yeah, seek it out. So I did. I seeked it out, and I went, and I sort of liked it. It was uncomfortable at first, but then you open up, and I think I had 3 sessions. But after about the second, third session, you start feeling comfortable. You start really opening up. I'm like, okay, yeah, and this because of this, and I tend to do this because of this. And she actually said, goes, well, I think you have a really good grip on your problems. and I don't think we need to see each other anymore. I'm like, no, I am telling you, I am being 100% honest with you. Why am I told you what's wrong with me, okay? But tell me why I'm like this. I've watched enough Sopranos to know that, you know? But no,
Yeah.
you know, and then I got, no,
You
yeah,
have
you're all
to
set.
You have to find the right therapist. I mean, I'm convinced of that. I tried doing the telemed thing recently.
Yeah, you can't order your therapist off Amazon like you can't order your clothes off Amazon.
Right.
You gotta try that
I
shit
think you
on.
could do like the telemed.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean to.
Zoom.
I didn't mean to knock telemed like at all. I was just kind of comparing it. Like you gotta try that shit on.
Yeah, you mean like you have to like. Yeah, you have to get comfortable with them. Yeah.
You gotta try that shit. If it's not a good fit, it's not gonna fit.
The lady I got assigned to, or she was assigned to me, like, very nice person, but she would talk about herself more than I would be talking about myself. I'm just like, I don't feel like this is worth my time then to sit here and talk to you about
You.
So you basically had like the Spicoli psychiatrist, right? Because if you're here and I'm here, doesn't that make it our time?
Right, yeah. But she's a very nice person. Very nice person. I just was like, and then at one point they're like, we listened, I got this email. We listened to your concerns and your wants and needs. Like over the whole, everyone who I guess they did surveys or whatnot, and they're like, now we're upping the time for counseling from 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and I'm like, oh hell no, I can't. I'm not going to be able to do this for longer. I'm not going to be able to listen to her for longer. I mean, no.
See, and I had just started my master's program when I brought the thing back in February. And that was one of the things we were learning. I mean, in the very first, and it's not even part of your program, it's basically to separate the wheat from the chaff. And in this case, thanks to my health and the thing, I became the shaft, so I have to redo this. But basically, it's about active listening. It's not about sharing your personal shit or telling somebody they don't need help anymore. It's like asking. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel like we could spend some, do you feel like we might have some areas that I could help with?
And see, I have seen enough of those movies that I knew that. I'm like, I know this. I'm not going to try to fight it.
It's okay. Them, like, aren't they supposed to pull things out of you? Like, they're supposed to be the ones that help you
they're
open the doors.
They're supposed to be like reflective listening, like, okay, so I hear you're saying blah, 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 and then you're like, no, that's not what I said. Well, actually, it is what you said. Well, that's not what I meant. Okay, so what did you mean? That's what they're supposed to be doing, but not just like, oh, well, it sounds like you got a good, you know what that is? That is Kingman shoving somebody who doesn't even have probably a bachelor's degree in a position of therapy, and then giving them not just 70 cases, but 170 cases.
Right. She was very efficient with her time. She's like, yeah, in like 5 minutes, we are going to have to start wrapping this up.
Oh, yeah. Like, there are good counselors out there, though. I've gone to
there really are. And I can give you a couple names even in this area, but that's one of the reasons why I want to get into the field, because in my unique living situation, I don't have to worry about like $50,000 a year. Are you kidding? I'm rich, bitch. Because I don't pay rent. I don't pay utilities, right? This minute I don't pay a car payment, a phone payment. Like, it would be a way for me to give back to my community, which is what I'm trying to work on. Is not only would it be something cool for me, but
you should probably do it, though. You'd probably be really good at it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why like on the federal level, they should offer support to lower income, to have better quality health care in lower income
Well, they need to
areas.
consider mental health care.
They really,
Right.
that really.
do.
Why are we calling ourselves the first world nation when we can't even?
And especially when they use the excuse of after every mass shooting now, it's like, this is a mental health issue. Then let's get mental health going.
Right.
If that's the problem, then why aren't we offering that?
Right. And,
Excuses.
especially when, we're all about our veterans. And yes, veterans, they go out, defend us. Yes, brave men, women. But when they come home from war, the very least we can do is provide health services to the VA. And not only just health services, but mental health services. These people have seen the worst fucking shit imaginable.
In some cases, had to do the worst shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't have a problem with our service men and women. I have a problem with the military-industrial complex.
Right. And to get to that point, how much
warned against it.
Sure
He saw it coming. He's like.
Well, Snow, did you watch Last Jon Stewart?
No, I wasn't able to.
Okay, well, it's about that and how Congress passed, I want to say it was $50 trillion more. They gave the military $50 trillion more than they were asking for. Now, there's, 218 congressmen? Someone like that?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
No, isn't there more than that? Because I thought they needed 218 to be the majority to win back the House.
Okay.
We just learned this.
I don't know.
Who can Google it?
Mike's harder.
Google it.
There's a lot more people in the House than the
right.
senators. We have 50 senators.
Okay,
or
okay.
100 senators.
Okay, all right.
What's it?
But it was like this. They pointed out this fact that they gave the military, Pentagon, $50 trillion more than what they asked for. Mm-hmm. How many lobbyists do you think there are for Lockheed Martin? How many? Take a guess.
Probably 300.
700 and something.
Holy shit.
It's
That's more than double than what I guessed.
More than...
And I was trying to guess high, because I'm like, it's got to be a ridiculous number.
It's double. And they said, almost every congressperson is in the pocket of these people. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure Bernie Sanders is one that wouldn't be.
That's
that's
the only thing that I was upset with Bernie Sanders, because I am a huge Bernie person, but I did read an article about how Lockheed Martin wanted to manufacture their weapons, and he tried to get it a facility in Vermont. And I understand that he's thinking, we're not going to be able to fight against it, so I at least want people to get jobs, right? So I understand that part, but I'm still you're supposed to be a conscientious objector. Even the really good guys. Even the good guys. But what can you do? We are a
beat them or
militarized...
join them. You can't beat us.
The thing is, we are a militarized country. I was in Mexico once.
So many of the cops in most civilizations don't even carry weapons.
Check this out. I was in Mexico one year, and we were hanging out with this Canadian dude we were hanging out with, and he's like, hey, we were talking about our countries, and I mentioned something, and he goes, well, honestly, you guys can't help it. You guys have always been a military country, and you always will. That's how the world sees you. And I'm like, it was like a kick to the stomach. I'm like, I don't want to be seen like that. I want peace. I don't want war. I'm like, I believe what John Lennon said, and I don't know why we've never tried to give peace a chance.
But we don't have...
The chessboard is set up, and each piece has a part. And we, as a militarized country, play our part in the global stage. They all call us when shit goes down.
Yeah, but...
We're the big cousin that everybody calls when they talk too much shit. You know, like
Yeah.
that's who we are in this world.
I need you to beat somebody up for me.
Right, and you know the sad thing is most. I probably should just stop right there, but I'll just say this: I will take a lot of the adjectives I was going to use, and I'll just say most flag-wearing Americans are proud of that fact.
The true. Oh, you mean the true patriots?
We're the
real
big
ones?
brother, you know, the
The real
big
patriot.
big quote unquote big dick swinging, big truck driving,
The
mud
real
flap wearing.
patriots, because they're
Okay.
the ones that wear the American flag on them, so that lets all of us know that they are the true
Right.
patriots.
Let me just correct that. That was billions, not trillions. So that's a big, huge difference. It's billions, not trillions. So we offered 50 billion more. Well, billions, still a lot of money.
We'll never
Half
say
a
that amount of
trillion.
money.
You know what I was, and here's the craziest thing: most of us can't even conceive what $1 million looks like. But
I know.
Yeah.
The difference between $1 billion and $1 trillion.
I don't have $1 million. I'm like $1,000-aire.
Okay, so,
I'm
but,
not even a $1 right now.
but,
I
okay.
ate off the McDonald's point with you.
I still do too, because food has become ridiculous
Holy
lately.
shit! I feel like my
trying to go
grandma in the
out.
grocery store. I feel like my grandmother in the grocery store. Like, oh my god, plates are $8. I remember when they were 99.
Just the food though, like, so Kingman Chop House. Somebody gave me a gift card there, so I went online to like look at what I might want to order if I go there. A customer gave me one for Christmas, and I'm like, shoot, I should probably use this soon. We're talking like, I don't know how people in Kingman afford it. Like $38, $45
They
They
don't
like the
afford it,
I'm
sir.
like-
That's why that place is empty most nights, and why their
Like,
their
who
wait
the
staff
fuck
is
is
getting
eating
drunk.
here?
in the-
Who the fuck is eating here? I'm like, why are your prices this insanely high? I'm like, I've been to steakhouses before.
And
Like,
it's crazy.
You guys think you're Ruth Chris? I'm like, well, those prices are even higher. But
I had to raise,
still,
like
it's a joke.
I put my bags back in Sarah's shop. My big ass bags are back in
Oh,
West
yeah,
of Third. And I had to tell her, like, I have to raise the prices because a yard of what used to be like, because I like to use batik fabric, which is higher end, would be like $17 unless I could find it on sale, which I am a bargain shopper, you know.
Right.
But $17 now is $25 for a yard of fabric. So like the bag prices, I'm still not. You're not even touching my labor, folks. This is literally what it says on the little charm that I sew in the bag, made with love. It is literally. That's what you're getting. You're paying for your materials, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just doing this to keep my head straight. You know, like, so.
It's like your therapy.
Exactly. But, like, everything is crazy. Like, inflation is fucking crazy. And I went and I almost took a job down at the fuel island down at Petro just to get I have a teenage daughter now. You know, that's a new thing that's happened since last time we were on the podcast. And so she's actually my niece, but I call her my daughter because I have taken permanent guardianship of her and will adopt her. So
cool. Good for you.
feminine products are $20 a month, dude. Like, it's crazy. So I was looking at a part-time job.
Viagra is covered for men. Like, what?
Yeah, your hard-on is totally not necessary, but we bleed every month regardless. So come on, folks, do the math. Like, but anyways, so I tried to get a part-time job at Petro, and she was trying to pay $12.50. Like, I'm like, to deal with dirty-ass truckers? Like, no, it's not enough. I'm sorry.
No.
Right, but what we're fighting against is.
I don't know if 20 would be enough.
I would have probably done 15.
But
national minimum wage.
But the same thing though, people bitch about, you know, the price of everything, but when it comes to raising minimum wage, they don't want to.
They bitch about that.
Because nobody has the, I told somebody the other day what I paid for my dog, right? And they wanted, like, seriously, like, were acting like they had to hold themselves back from smacking me. Like, they were like, what? You paid $4,000 for a dog? And then as soon as you calm down and get your shit back in your pants and let me finish, I can get $2,500 every time he knocks a bitch up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, 2 litters and the dog is
what
more
kind
than
of dog
paid.
is it?
It's a Brussels Griffon. So if you ever saw that movie with Jack Nicholson and Greg Kinnear and Helen Hunt, As Good as It Gets,
Yeah.
the little gay neighborhood neighbor with the dog Verdell,
Is a cute dog.
that's my dog, and he looks just like Verdell. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you bought that." Well, first off, I've wanted that dog ever since I saw that movie, and so I've been following this breed for a long time, knowing I couldn't afford it because they're so rare in here. And it just lined up that when my parents bought me out of the company, the first time he left, they bought me out. They're like, "Well, let's hurry and buy her out before he comes back." Money before he spends it. And so I found a litter, and I was just like, "I'm doing it, dude. I'm getting this.
I'm getting my dog.
I'm going through a breakup. There's a little fucking doggy that I've been wanting for 20 years, you know."
And dogs are good for folks that have PTSD.
They really are. Like,
yeah.
my dog helps me.
My dog isn't.
No, your dog's a dick.
Now, if I start crying, like Tucker wants to run, and he's like, "Oh shit," you know, but he always does come back every time and cuddle up next to me, and he's great with loves. He's the most adorable thing. But you know, you got to think big. You can't get hung up on the front end. You got to think about how spending this money, and that's what we were talking about. You know, people don't want to pay for social programs. Because, oh my God, I don't want to, you people can work. I don't want to help nobody with nothing. But if you think about, if we help everybody eat right, then the social part of the medicine is going to cost less.
Or, okay, if you're so against the social programs, why are you also one of those fucking assholes that is against raising minimum wage? It's like, then, yeah. I agree with you.
Okay.
I agree with you. Let's have the corporations fucking take care of their employees.
Yeah, because a lot of corporations will force their employees, like Walmart, is famous
to go get
this is how
services.
you go about keeping your monthly income just beneath the poverty line so you can get all the social
and this is the number because we're not going to pay your health care, but we can get you free health care,
and this is the number you need to be
how.
under, and this is the number you call to set up your appointment. And like,
okay, but go back to that $50 billion that we gave out to the military. How far would that $50 billion go to helping with the homeless crisis?
Right.
Helping with mental health care.
They've been talking about this for years about the military.
But
like I said, Eisenhower.
But then the same.
And the saddest part is our vets aren't getting the money. They're not being paid, right?
No.
The same thing. I mean, we're bitching about inflation too. It fucking hurts all of us. But the people that bitch the most and they blame a certain president over another president, you know, they go, well, look at the homeless problem, look at the crime problem, look at the homeless, look at the homeless.
Well, and they try to
well,
do
then
that
look
to
at
cut
the
down
crime
California.
rates and how they dropped 61% 18 years after Roe v. Wade.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. That's on Freakonomics.
Right.
Did you see it on there?
No.
Like that.
I'm a psych major. 61%, 18 years outside of Roe v. Wade.
Right. And they said,
well, let's look at crime and make sure we don't murder an unborn fucking human.
Basically, they weren't born, so they couldn't commit the crimes. Like, that's what it tells you
what
in
it
Freakonomics.
Is, what it is,
really, it's a
ripple down thing. You don't have families who can't feed their kids, so they're committing crimes to feed their kids. You don't have families who don't want their kids, so they are literally selling their children into sex trade. You don't have families who don't want their kids, so they're beating their children and can't afford to take them to the hospital once they have to go to the hospital because the kid's going to die if they don't. The kid isn't raised up in a home where it's known it's not wanted, so it's a juvenile fucking delinquent from the day. You know, it's not just simply one, like it's these kids that shouldn't have been born that, you know, now they're criminal. No,
it's a danger
everything.
to force people who do not, or who are saying, I do not want to have the kid.
I don't want it.
I
can't have it.
I have had this argument before, like, kids will be like, well, people shouldn't use that as a form of birth control. I'm like, again, I don't care because I'm rather going with the thing. We should not force people to go through and breed somebody that they don't want to
Where
have
are
children
those kids
anyways.
at 14?
Yeah.
The mom didn't want them at 0.
They go in the system.
They're out on the streets hanging with other kids whose parents don't want them.
And then
stealing beer from the liquor store
and
or
then,
their parents' bar.
Or they go into the foster care system.
That's what I'm saying.
Which is a direct funnel to sex slaves.
But they cut funding to the foster care programs. But then when they release these kids on the streets after 18,
and then they go in
most of the time
foster care, DCS.
Care.
We all have had guests on here that went crazy about DCS, but DCS goes after parents that actually want to parent. Mm-hmm. And leave the kids that are in bad situations that are fucked beyond belief in that situation because they're going to cost too much.
Right.
Let's go after this kid because this kid's family is going to pay for the treatment it needs to go back home.
Right.
This kid is fucked. We can't afford to pay for the lifetime of treatment for that one. So let's just turn our head and ignore that child, especially if it's a male, because we can't just slide it to some kind of sex slave trade.
Yeah, the foster care system. That's why.
And who are those males?
I'm always like,
who are those males? Like black and brown boys.
You gotta allow people the freedom to say, I don't. I think it's a big thing for somebody to say, I don't want to have a kid. You know, like they're like, I don't want. We should not force people that are saying that to have children.
It's just like a person who comes out and says, I like men, who's a man, or I like women. No, but we already know what y'all are going to think about it when we tell you that. Nobody wants to come out and say, I don't want to have this baby that I'm pregnant. We already know what y'all are going to think.
And they should
take a huge
people
sack.
because they're not the ones out there reproducing.
It takes a huge sack to be able to admit this to somebody and say, I don't want this baby. I can't do this. I'm going to suck at parenting.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the damage that was done to me to this baby.
And the rest of us should listen to that and be like,
that's a very
not a good idea.
Woke person.
Well, it's a very vicious cycle, you know what I mean? So now you want to increase the population.
And that's all they care about is because all these fetuses, they're potential taxpayers.
Right.
That's
or
all
workers.
That
so they don't have to pay taxes. They're like, what? We need you to breed so your kids can pay our fucking taxes for us.
Right, because we're not paying taxes.
We're
and
not
our
going
kids aren't paying taxes, and our kids aren't going to war.
See how it's all like this big vicious cycle, and then you're going to cut funding for education on top of that. So a bunch of dumb
they want
kids
people to be stupid and just breed.
Right, and then you can testify in court. When you work for a news network, you can testify in court that you are lying to your viewers. You are lying to your viewers. And this person...
Fox Entertainment. I don't call them Fox News. It's Fox Entertainment.
And your Cheeto Jesus is not a good person. You can text that to each other, and it gets out there.
And how you hate them passionately.
But...
You better be flying that flag on your truck when you
go
into the parking lot.
You will never hear that on this entertainment channel.
From Tucker's shitbag.
Yeah. But it's not. And he will still go on and say it's all the other media companies are lying. They're lying about reporting on the text messages that actually were released.
We're telling you the truth. No, you're not.
When we are shooting down UFOs and putting it in the news and nobody fucking cares, like, oh no, it was just a balloon. I just told you it was.
Yeah.
4 of them in a week, you know, and nobody's nobody's talking about that shit. Like,
but then they got
they were spy balloons, like from
One was from China, but then they were shooting down other balloons.
Other thing, yeah.
One I think happened to be like some kind of like school project or something like that. That was out in the wrong part of the atmosphere, you know. Yeah. And we would probably be embarrassed at how much that missile cost that shot down that balloon.
And they just released during Obama's tenure. Yes, we have been watching space unidentified UFOs coming in and out. We've been watching them forever.
Well, yeah, but UFOs would probably look at us and go, like, waste our time.
Yeah, maybe they just fly by. They're like, we're going to another planet. We're just like,
because this is the message.
We aren't
This is the
prepared,
message
man.
we sent out. This is Paul Gosar. He puts out a weekly newsletter. Okay,
geez.
this is a quote from the newsletter.
It's gonna
Okay,
be something stupid.
Okay.
Brace yourselves.
Now-
there you go. Get your stupid hats, everybody.
now get this. Okay, sadly, just last month, the Tempe Police Department announced an estimated 4.5 million fentanyl pills and 3,000 pounds of methamphetamine, heroin, and cocaine were seized during a recent drug bust in Arizona. Now think about that. Sadly, they announced that 4.5 million fentanyl pills and $3,000 of methamphetamine, heroin, and cocaine were seized. Why is that sad that it was seized?
I know that they
Seized
got it.
means it
And,
got
like,
off
they
the
stopped
streets
it. Yeah.
until the co-op police
It's
department
sad
sells it
because-
again.
It's sad.
But-
He's an idiot.
It's sad because it's like a tiny little drop in the bucket of what's going on.
But he's probably
You know,
sad
they-
because check this out. He's probably sad because he's like, sadly, we're not going to be able to arrest and prosecute people and put more people in jail. Fucking
Sadly,
A.
we can't drop it on the brown body that the police department just shot because they had some canned corn in their backpack.
Right.
Sadly.
And sadly that was seized. So, well, actually it's not sad that it was seized because then some probably corrupt police
Getting high.
person, no, they can go out and they can sell it to the drug dealer.
And get high.
And then, to get that kickback.
I'm telling you, I just heard
But
from somebody.
sadly, why don't we go after? Because the real fentanyl crisis doesn't really come from Mexico. I mean, yeah, it's trafficked in and shit, but a lot of that shit
from
is
China.
produced here. Well, is it China too?
China is producing some serious amount of fentanyl, and we can buy it on the internet. So we're buying fentanyl from China and have it come to us from fucking FedEx.
Crazy.
Dun, dun, dun.
But-
you used to sweat
but-
sending
but
your
you-
friend a
but
joint
then-
in the mail.
But then with the fentanyl
Now
crisis,
send
this,
fentanyl.
this all goes back in. Is we're not going to pay to solve the crisis of what could put certain people out on the streets and stuff
Here's
like
the
that.
thing: we've already touched on the crisis. We've already scratched on the surface of what is the every single addict. You know what it comes down to?
It's
which
mental
every
health.
single one has in common: trauma.
Uh-huh.
Every single addict that has ever been interviewed in the course of addiction therapy has in common is trauma. Yet our country still stigmatizes the traumatized. You're weak. You need to
Right.
learn to man up, cowboy up, put your shit together, get on your good big girl panties and deal with your
I
shit.
was
Go
just gonna
make
say
some
that.
money to
Big
pay
girl
your
panties.
fucking taxes.
Yeah.
You know? But that goes back to the sense of, and if we could get like China or Japan and recognize that the mind and the body go like this, and as long as we're ignoring one to the glorification of the other, we are going to live a separated, fragmented life where we're ashamed of who and what we are. We have to recognize if there is something wrong with our body, there's probably something wrong with our mind, and we need to talk to them. We don't not only need to treat this person, which is what we're famous for, treatment, pills, surgery.
Oh, believe me.
We need to talk to this person and figure out where did you first start feeling this pain? What was going on when it happened?
Well, and a lot of that goes all the way back to childhood, and just stuff that your parents could just not intentionally pass down to you. Some do.
They were doing the best that they could, whose parents before them couldn't even talk as much as they did.
Right. Well, I think it's getting better. I think the mental health aspect is getting better. It's getting more accepted.
Attention, too.
Attention.
Some very brave, rich celebrities have taken a stand and put themselves on blast and been willing to say, I got some shit going on, which makes okay, so money coming from Hollywood is talking about it. DC, we better talk about it too, And so, some very public rich people have lost their lives and had ripple effects come up behind them, and other people have come close. And other rich, famous people who are obviously crazy are jokes. Mr. West. You know, like,
well, who's
every time somebody makes a Kanye joke, I laugh, but then immediately I feel bad. That man's fucking crazy and somebody should be helping him.
He needs to stay on his meds. Like, I think he's one that goes on and off of them, and it's like, you can't do that if you're bipolar. I'm sorry.
And you can't do other drugs.
Yeah.
Kanye. You can't do coke when you're on a tour if you're a bipolar. They don't work together.
Yeah, but
it does not mix.
I mean, we don't know if Kanye does.
Yeah, we're not.
For the record, we don't know if Kanye does coke. You know, in case he ever hears this.
Allegedly.
But if you have that much money and you're fucking nuts, you just hire enough yes people around you that
to do what you want.
Yeah.
But that's the whole difference between somebody who's like tackled by the cops in the ER because they're nuts and somebody who fucking wins Grammys because they're nuts.
Right?
Like, most fucking genius are a little fucking crazy. Like, so like, celebrate them in equal measures. You know, do not just celebrate, because I have to admit, I don't like the man. But Kanye is kind of a genius when it comes to certain things. Like, lyrically, he's pretty good. Beats, he's fucking pretty good. You know, he's got his own level of genius. It's fucking crazy, though. We cannot celebrate one side without looking at the other side.
I don't know. I've never really been a Kanye fan.
I'm not a huge Kanye fan, but man, you listen to you really listen to the lyrics, not just hear it. You're like, whoa, where did that come from?
I like that Gold Digger song.
It's got to be a beat.
It's catchy, man.
My ex used to work for the Massachusetts Department of Child Support, and that would be like their unofficial theme song. So, fuck, dude. We're just all fucked.
Really are.
Fucked. The world.
It's like varying degrees of fuckery, you know? And then it's all measured against whether the level of melanin and the degree of testosterone that you carry in your body. It defines how much public fuckery you can display. Right? If you're lucky enough to be very low on melanin and high on testosterone, you can get away with a lot more fuckery, especially if you have money in your bank.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, money is the key there. You know, but it's getting the level of, you know, fuck. I don't know. I mean, you keep on raising the prices on everything. And the big thing about homelessness is that, you know, you have these foreign corporations that come out and buy up all the rental properties.
Mm-hmm.
And then
raise the prices.
And raise the prices.
Upgrades and details in it.
There should be a limit on
gentrification. How many
properties that non-United States citizens should own. Because I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to own any, you know, but it's ridiculous that they're allowed to buy up
and they're making all this money and paying no taxes.
And then they're jacking up the rates.
Right.
And people can't afford.
In certain cities.
And you know, in other countries, they have limits on how much you can own if you're not a citizen.
Podunk city, like, you cannot get a 1-bedroom apartment for under $1,000 anymore. Like, no matter how ghetto you're willing to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Even in K-Funk, Arizona.
Okay, so get back to that thing with foreign countries. They'll buy, say, 4 buildings in one area. They'll only rent one of them out. So that makes the demand for those rooms higher, so you can raise the prices. And this all goes in with minimum wage and shit. Who on minimum wage in Kingman can afford $1,000 a month?
Nobody.
Okay? Don't you think that is a contributing factor to homelessness?
And that's where you wind up with these, like, trap houses, like, where he was living, like, you know, he had, like, 4 or 5 different people on probation in the same house. Like, this one lady has changed her dining room into 2 bedrooms and, like, renting out her shed as a room. And, and, like, you've got these people now renting rooms to strangers in their homes because people can't afford to live on their own anymore. So what kind of, like, jeopardy do you put everybody in? Right? Like, You got kids in your family and you're renting rooms to strangers. You got kids coming
That's not
into
a
your
good
house.
idea.
You know, that aren't your, like, this is just so crazy. The things that they're forcing people into, like.
Yeah.
Well, and you hate to say it, but we're the greatest country in the world, right? America, we're the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
We don't even take care of our own.
Or so we'd like to think, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Even
true.
the ones that
It's
go
a
out there and
lie.
take care of us, like the vets, like you're talking about, if you don't come home and you're good, you ain't shit.
Right. But why do you look down upon, the peace-loving hippie liberals who don't want to go to war? Isn't that the best way to protect a soldier, is not to send them to war in the first place?
Yeah, but we can't.
You would think.
Lockheed Martin doesn't make trillions
They
that
won't make
year
money.
if they don't go to
Damn
war.
it.
Right, but why can't we audit?
What was
why,
the Black Hawk? What was
Black
it?
Hawk.
Black Hawk Down?
No, what was the one that not
It's a contract.
Yeah, the
place
private
that
contractor.
sends
Blackwater?
people-
Blackwater? We can't.
Blackwater.
Blackwater can't report $5 trillion profits to their shareholders if we don't do this shit. Like, we have to.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, why can't
Money.
someone in the Pentagon just look at the budget and say, okay, we're paying $10 each for a
Because we
fork
didn't
that's sold to the
elect
armor.
Marianne Williams.
Williamson.
Yeah, because we didn't elect the gal that wanted to do the sound bowl cleansings every Sunday.
She's already thrown her hat into the ring for 2024. I've
But
heard.
guess
She's going
what?
To be running.
Lockheed Martin's not going to let her.
Hell fucking no.
They're not going to let her
Well,
win.
she can still run.
She can
but-
run. She's not going to
I'm
win.
not saying she has a chance.
Anybody
but
can run.
Oh,
She's already said
Dude.
she's going to
Sarah,
run.
I'm
Dude,
gonna write
dude.
you in.
Yeah, and if somehow like everybody opened up their minds and actually voted with a conscience, not because of who the media tells us to vote for and all that other bullshit, something would happen to her.
That's why
She wouldn't actually make it to the
Oprah
president.
said she will never fucking run. She said I would be shot inside the first month. She said I will not.
Yeah,
She is straight up said.
that'd be some JFK shit right there.
You know, the most threatened president we've had to date was Obama.
Oh, I would believe it.
Like, racism was kind of sleeping.
Oh yeah, I moved to this town. Okay, and
It was kind of a sleeping beast.
I moved this town, and I was about a year in, and the Boston Marathon bombing happened. And being from that area, we had the news on, and I was really just paying because people I used to go to the Boston Marathon with my dad every year. Went to the Red Sox game. After the Red Sox game, we'd walk over to the finish line of the marathon and watch the end of it. And so that one hurt me, and I remember Obama came on and gave his statement about an hour and a half afterwards on it, the initial statement on it. And, I was listening to what Obama said, and this little lady came up to me and goes, I hate that N-word. I'm like,
That's our president, man.
I was stunned. I'm like, number one, what kind of town am I in?
All right.
Number two, did you just say that out loud?
We're in the kind of town that still, to this day, has a bar as you're exiting I-40 that says, in big old bold letters, let's go, Brandon. Like, that happened how long
They
ago?
changed their name. The tax shed changed their name to Let's Go Brandon.
Did they seriously?
No.
Oh, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yes, it does, because you
Like,
don't see the tax shed anywhere.
they covered over the tax shed. They're just like, if you want to bitch about
The Democrats.
Biden or the libs or whatever, come here and have some drinks.
They literally
and food.
had a sign behind their bar. I haven't been in there enough to see it myself because I won't put my money in
liberals need to be
Democrats must be attended
by an adult or something stupid like that. I'm like, yeah,
so you
'cause
just
it's our party
alienated.
it's our party that acts like children, I guess it was our party that said grab them by the pussy. I guess it's our party that makes fun of mentally
Here's the
challenged
thing:
people.
anybody who has half a fucking
What the
brain in
fuck?
America realizes the president ain't got shit as far as power goes.
Right.
The president is a talking fucking figurehead. And so when Trump was our option, I'm like, this man is not the man I want talking for me. This man is not the man. He has not a diplomatic bone in his entire body.
Yeah, even George Bush Jr., as crazy as he is, he's funny, but he's kind of crazy. At least when something happened, George Bush Jr. would come on, and you could kind of listen to him and go,
He'd like pretend like he cared.
Not to let the doctors practice their love for their patients.
Yeah.
Please don't, doctor, practice. Please, doctor, do not practice your love on me. Right? That would be rape in most states.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I don't know.
Fool me once. No, there will be no fooling me twice.
Right?
But good Lord, during the tenure of the man that came before the one that we have, I would have sold or left anything to have George W. Bush die.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was terrible.
And the man that shall not be named is running.
Oh, yeah.
And well, probably.
Did you expect anything? He's got a hustle to fucking run. He's doing it for fucking money, too. And don't get me wrong. I think he wants to be president so he can pardon himself.
The first president in our nation's history that did not have to divest of their financial holdings. The first one where we said, oh, you're not going to do that? Okay. Like,
I know.
Well, and who would think
and
that?
they're like, he lets everybody stay at Mar-a-Lago for free.
No, he doesn't.
Bullshit, bitch. Nobody stays nowhere for free.
And
Where did they get that from? Like
because he didn't send a bill to the state of Argentina.
He charged people. They talked about how much he was charging at his DC hotel when people came to do the 1-6 thing. It was like $700 fucking a night.
Right. Yeah. Like,
well, and think about this.
Trump Hotel in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, first off, as a card holding, probably tattooed into my DNA holding liberal, I would never stay at the Trump Hotel.
No, you wouldn't say it. And the fact, the only hotel that is not allowed to have a gambling license.
That should tell them should tell his idiotic
He's
supporters.
such a great businessman.
No, it's
really?
like it's
the state
like,
of Nevada does not agree with your opinion.
Do you know how hard it is to lose a gambling license?
Or not to get one?
No, he used to have them in New Jersey.
But not in Nevada.
He's not allowed to have them in New Jersey either.
Oh, no?
No, he lost them. That's why, and they've always made the argument, do you know how hard it is to lose a gambling license?
I don't personally.
It is extremely hard.
But I can only imagine.
And I'm like, and I've tried to tell
Look
some
at
of
who your bedfellows are, folks.
I've tried to tell some of his idiot supporters, I go, next time you're in Las Vegas, just walk into the Trump Hotel. Walk in there because you will notice there are no machines. He is not allowed to have a gambling license. Not allowed.
So, folks, if you are into like quiet, you can't stand too much stimulation from lights or noises, go stay at the Trump Towers in Vegas.
Well, but here's the thing about Trump, though, is there's a very real possibility that indictments are going to come down soon.
Yeah.
Right. You might be
From
at
New
your
York,
hotel room
from
and get to
New
see a
York.
bunch of like FBI or
No,
DOJ
but
people coming in.
that's not the point, though. These indictments are going to give him more power over
To
people,
who?
over his fan base.
Because his fan base is fucking stupid.
Well, I'm not saying know if I want to.
I've always said, come visit Kingman, Arizona.
Well,
Sorry, most
yeah.
of them are unintelligent. Like,
Well, there's no arguing with them when their news network that they watch tells you that they're lying to your face about
And they
you.
say, so what? Their reply is, so what? So what that Fox News said that? So what? I don't care. This is the thing. They like what Donald Trump stands for. They like the fact
they like that he's an
they
asshole.
like that he hates women.
Says what
they
he
like
says.
that he's racist. They like all those
They
things.
like that
so
he
they're going to
can
back
say,
him no matter
They
what.
like that he can say whatever's on his mind and nothing touches him. That's what they like.
They like that.
Brother, sister, I'm more like you than he is. It's going to touch you.
Yeah, well, and that's
You can't
that's,
say whatever you want and not
that's-
lose your job, my friend. You can't say whatever you want and not have somebody come beat your ass, my friend.
Right. And I guess it's we're gonna have to wrap this up because my battery's dying here.
I was
But
gonna say it's got to be getting close.
But-
I'm like because we've been. This is a long one.
yeah, but people who are
Beer's almost gone. It had to have been a second.
people who are outraged about what Chris Rock said about Jada Pinkett Smith. I think there's a whole lot more to be outraged about than what a comedian says on a stage. Who gives a fuck?
Dude,
Right.
I somewhat suspect
We've got
that shit was
way more
arranged.
problems than comedians, folks.
Yeah.
I somewhat
All right?
suspect the way it all went down. They didn't talk about that shit beforehand. Like, I'm gonna say this about your wife, and I'm gonna take one. You can go ahead and throw one, and I'll and then we'll be like friends again. Like,
They're not gonna be friends
I
again.
don't think they're going to be friends
No.
either.
no.
Chris Rock kind of pulled the pin on the hand grenade on that one, and
You'll have to watch this
Yeah.
comedy special.
Okay, I'm gonna go home and do my own homework tonight, folks.
Netflix.
yeah.
You have Netflix,
I
right?
have Netflix.
Go watch this.
So
Chris Rock
and that's what the brilliance of the title was. That Selective Outrage.
Uh-huh.
That was it's the name of the special.
it's
When you go to
true.
look, it's Selective Outrage.
But
You're-
we're all guilty of the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and I think that was his point.
That was
too.
his point, yeah.
Everyone has the
Their
things that
hot
really piss them off more, but it doesn't necessarily piss off. a
And the
different
real
person.
assholes are the ones that know those buttons in you and push them in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yep.
You're
Exactly.
the asshole.
All right,
story.
we'll save that for the next narcissistic podcast.
Oh,
Right?
please have me back for that one. I've got
We'll have
further
you back for that one.
Always welcome.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And we should mention. Tomorrow you're going down to see Michelle for the Reiki.
Yeah,
You are?
I'm doing Reiki tomorrow.
Reiki.
Yes, the woman who came on our. Did you hear that?
Did you,
one?
do you listen?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going down and doing the Reiki experience. I'm so excited.
I'm scared.
I don't know what to
Yeah,
expect.
yeah, and-
but I'm
Is this shit gonna
looking
come out of my
forward.
pores too? I'm scared.
Okay. And ask her when we can get her on again.
Oh, I will. I'll ask her about it. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was one of our most highly downloaded episodes yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And for good reason.
That was a good one. Yeah.
I think y'all ought to look up Alicia Gray too. You probably met her at Pride last year. She's highly involved again this year, I think. But she's over at Eclectic Well doing
Okay.
some readings and whatnot.
Okay.
I think she'd be a fun person for me all the time.
Okay, so she does like psychic stuff.
Yeah.
So I
Tarot
would love to have
readings.
her on. I would love to.
Yeah.
I love that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
So
She read me like a fucking book the other day. I was like, "Wait, what? And I didn't tell you any of this?
We do need to have her on then.
yeah. All right. We'll do that.
Alrighty.
Hey, are you around Pride weekend?
Are you all gonna
We
be
need
there?
to work that out.
We're going.
Yeah.
It's like Renaissance Pride this year, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
gonna be
Okay.
there?
I already started looking up costumes because I want to dress up.
Okay.
For,
I think
like,
I'm gonna have a
Renaissance
booth
fair.
too.
But we're going to do that thing again this year because that
Right.
was really fun last year.
Yeah.
And I think we
I'll come
were
visit y'all if you'll have me.
we were also talking about doing one from the stage
Oh yeah.
itself.
Yeah. Hell
So-
yeah. It'd be really cool to have like anybody who's attending Pride during that segment from the stage that felt bold enough to share your story of how you came out or how you came to identify
that's-
or whatever.
Well, I mean,
That'd be
we
amazing.
did do that. We kind
Big
of
balls to
we
y'all.
we just had like hey, these mics are on, come tell us our stories, and we had some really great stories.
That's awesome.
We had a lot
Mine
of
had to
cool
be a little
people.
watered down since the monster was sitting across from me, but
Yeah,
I had to be.
We had a lot of cool people.
we had
A
some.
tip of the hat to everyone
Yeah,
who
everyone. You know,
came on that
and-
day.
and the one-
those 2 days.
and the one that got to me was the kid though, and his dad had bought him makeup.
Aw.
That one, I was just like
that
tearing up.
commercial. You seen that commercial? I don't know if it was Sweden or some Finland or some nation in the frozen tundra over in Europe had a commercial of a grandpa who did a trans grandson or whatever at the holiday. And he was like, the grandpa was putting on his makeup to like kind of understand what the grandson was going through. And I was just like,
Oh,
Mhm.
that's sweet.
you caught me on a chocolate day.
Okay, so
Chocolate day.
So on that note, we're going to go see who wins the Oscars here from the liberal Hollywood elite.
Right?
Who is that? Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're going to find out who the big winners are.
Is it
We
going to
don't
be
know yet.
Is it going to be the Whale or is it going to be Elvis?
I don't know.
Although the Fox people are rooting for Top Gun.
Oh, really?
That's up for Best Picture.
Okay.
Oh, so Oscar.
Which
I
I thought
watched it.
I thought that was good. I thought it was a good movie.
It was a good movie, but I don't
know
that
yeah, it's not Best
Oscar
Picture.
worthy. I'm sorry.
The Oscars have
It's-
not happened yet?
They're going on right now.
Remember when he didn't win for Jerry Maguire, and I was like, that if he should have won. I love the movie Jerry Maguire.
Show
I
me
love
the
it.
money.
Yes.
Show me the money.
I thought he was fantastic in that. That's actually the last time that I really enjoyed a Tom Cruise just because I always think of all the, I know we have freedom of religion, but I always think of his crazy lunatic.
Yeah,
Scientology
it really is.
Yeah.
I've been
With it,
watching some
but-
specials on that show.
Yeah. That
I
Leah
never-
Remini one is really
Mormonism.
good.
That's a whole nother one. All right, so we're wrapping this up,
All right.
and
Thanks for having me on, man.
Thanks for
well,
coming,
it's nice
Ricky.
seeing you again. Not just on the podcast, but it's good to
Hey, I'm back.
that you're
catch up.
back
Guess
around.
who's back? Back again.
Tricky's back.
Tricky's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back?
Please
Guess
tell your
who's
friends,
back?
especially if
Guess
they're
who's-
cute and have their own car, home, job.
Yeah. Well, we'll catch up with all my crazy stories too.
Yes.
Oh
Okay.
God, I got them. All right.
Bye,
So bye,
y'all.
y'all.
Bye.